Great ideas rarely appear on command. They show up when conditions are right. The problem is sharp, the team is safe to speak up, and the work has a clear finish line. That mix can feel elusive inside busy organizations built for predictability, but it's learnable. With the right constraints, habits, and decision rules, creativity becomes less of a gamble and more of a repeatable advantage you can run on schedule, without breaking the parts of the business that must stay precise. Today, you'll learn how to set the table for reliable imagination, framing problems so they invite answers, running tightly structured sprints that turn loose brainstorming into results, shaping a culture where psychological safety and multiplier behaviors unlock contribution, and using practical rules to sort, fund, and scale the best ideas while cutting the rest quickly. You'll see how constraints, smart prompts, and simple feedback loops raise the hit rate, and how to think about risk so bold bets don't bet the company. Let's start by building the structure that makes creativity show up when you need it most. Creativity matters, yet everyday habits squeeze it out. New ideas feel risky or expensive, so teams stick to keep-moving routines that run the business but smother originality. Progress comes from treating creativity as a distinct mode with its own rules, aimed at ideas that change how people think, feel, and act, and produce entirely new solutions, not tidy tweaks. This pays off. A multi-year McKinsey analysis used Cannes Lions Awards to build a creativity score and found high scores outperformed on revenue growth and shareholder returns, while low scores rarely beat the market. Leaders at those companies don't outsource creativity. They model it, make it a boardroom topic, fund it, study customers in their own world, and move fast with clear owners and deliverables. To handle uncertainty, think in knowns. With known knowns, run proven playbooks and ship quickly. With known unknowns, name the gaps and test options with real accountability. With unknown unknowns, those out-of-nowhere shocks like a pandemic, build a protected space to explore multiple paths while leaders act as buffers, keeping anxiety from flooding the team so fresh thinking can happen. Across all three, creativity fuels growth and resilience. The job is to concentrate effort on the most promising possibilities. Preparation makes the magic happen. Structures, processes, and deadlines create the runway ideas need. Consider FedEx. Between 10:30 p.m. and 1:15 a.m., about 150 planes land at the Memphis hub and teams unload, sort, and reload 1.5 million packages. That window demands zero improvisation. It's a finely tuned sequence that shows why exploration and precision work shouldn't be mixed. The lesson is to keep the operation running at full discipline while carving separate sessions, off the line, for major directional shifts, and to bring the same rigor, focus, and drive to those creative efforts. A good rule of thumb used in the hospitality industry is to manage 95% of the business down to the penny and spend 5% foolishly on experiences that delight guests, because that small slice can have outsized impact. Avoid traps that look bold but backfire. Rule-breaking slogans such as "move fast and break things" invite trouble in high-stakes contexts that depend on compliance and accuracy. Experts-only rooms miss naive questions that surface hidden assumptions. Hunting for one perfect concept chokes output, generate many, and expect most to be wrong. Set the creative mode apart, prepare it well, and use it on purpose. In the next section, we'll look at the practical system that makes those creative leaps repeatable. Switching out of day-to-day mode is only half the battle. You also need a reliable way to produce big, original ideas on demand. That's why BBDO, a global advertising agency network, built the Workout, a tightly run 2 to 3 day creative session that turns loose brainstorming into clear, scalable platforms. A workout starts before anyone meets. Organizers do the homework and let it soak, then distill the brief into one tight challenge and a set of prompts that steer thinking. For instance, a national grocer's big revenue goal was reframed as nudging every shopper to add roughly one extra item each week. An electric Mustang launch became about persuading skeptics to place reservations for a not-yet-built, forward-looking model on a lean budget. The team is deliberately mixed: writers, art directors, planners, business leads, producers, with a few non-experts whose naive questions surface hidden assumptions. It's designed for foundational shifts, not small optimizations or one-off executions. The client appears 3 times. First is a short kickoff where they describe the dream outcome, then they leave so the messy part can happen. Midway, they return for a conversation about territories, not polished executions. Finally, they walk a room-length exhibition that visualizes the thinking so choices can be made on the spot. Between visits, some leaders share nightly photo mosaics of Post-its to reassure stakeholders that progress is real without interrupting the work. Environment matters. Sessions run away from the office, often a rented house or boutique hotel, to prevent day job drift, with spaces for collaboration and quiet focus. Extroverts get people, introverts get space. Tools stay analog, big Post-its, foam boards, fat markers, so ideas remain visible, movable, and easy to edit together. Healthy pressure is intentional. Tight time boxes, public ideas, peer energy, and scheduled client drop-ins. Good food and short resets keep momentum intact. A few rules keep the chemistry productive. Early contributions are met with a fast yes and add-on, and criticism waits until later. Every idea must fit on a Post-it to force clarity. Each evening, the room acts as creative director through dot voting to sense momentum and quietly trim weaker paths. Playful games, capturing the problem in one line, one consumer truth, and one image, often surface the core line. The rhythm is consistent. Go wide, narrow to a few strong routes. Go deep to make them live and breathe. Then go public in the exhibition, where creators present their own work shoulder to shoulder with the client. The workout engineers meaningful urgency and suspended judgment, protects focus, and blends insiders with outsiders. With workouts, big swings stop being accidents and start becoming a habit. Next, we'll look at the leadership and culture that help this stick once everyone goes back to work. Creativity sticks when everyday habits support it. Culture isn't a slogan, it's the signals people feel in meetings, reviews, and promotions. After a workout, those signals decide whether bold roots live or die. The first step is honesty about how decisions really happen, because behavior outruns posters every time. Leaders set the tone. Research on leadership styles shows 2 patterns. Diminishers hoard answers and drain initiative, while multipliers expand the intelligence around them by challenging, supporting, and developing others. Many people diminish by accident. Self-awareness and small behavior shifts can reverse it. The most effective leaders pair high standards with respect, demanding without demeaning. Make culture practical by naming the behaviors you reward. One exercise pulled top performers together to describe how the best actually behave. The picture was clear. They improve the work and earn trust. They present cleanly and raise a hand to help rather than point a finger. When they're knocked down, they reset fast and bring energy. They make crisp calls and do the right thing. They stay constructively paranoid, and crucially, they go looking for difference. Build those habits into hiring, feedback, and recognition so they become daily signals. Some organizations go further. One industrial company added imagination to performance reviews for its top 5,000 leaders and created protected breakthroughs that couldn't be defunded mid-quarter, paired with explicit permission to fail and clear progress measures. Shared language that translates creativity into operator terms, risk taken, problem solved, learning captured, helps everyone see how curiosity turns into outcomes. Early buy-in from the artisanal class, the most revered and powerful members in your organization, raises survival odds. Inviting them in early, surfacing healthy conflict, and practicing operational empathy keeps ideas aligned with product realities, service models, budgets, and legal constraints. Psychological safety is the baseline. People need to believe they can speak up and try new approaches without payback. Fear-driven urgency has worked under a few outliers, but most teams do better with leaders who set a high bar and push for excellence while treating people with respect. Urgency can come from events, too. When COVID-19 hit, a legacy beauty brand moved fast to digitize its marketing, made hand sanitizer, and used WhatsApp to stay close to customers. When leaders act like multipliers, behaviors are codified and rewarded, and safety to contribute is real. A workout doesn't fade after the off-site. It becomes the operating rhythm. Next, we'll sharpen the starting point by framing the right question. Big ideas show up faster when the problem is defined with precision. These are the inputs the workout depends on. One tight question and sharp prompts that aim the room's energy. Constraints help. The most useful one is a compelling question that pulls thinking toward an answer. Vague aims drain energy. A focused prompt does the opposite, turning curiosity into momentum. History backs this up. A child's impatient request to see a photo immediately sparked instant photography in 1943. Methods like the 5 whys, asking why repeatedly to reach the root cause, reduce problems to their essence, and engineers who challenge every requirement, treating only the laws of physics as fixed, avoid building around assumptions. Removing ugly guidelines means ditching prescriptive execution notes and replacing them with a blunt, outcome-focused prompt. In a workout, prompts are short, pointed questions that aim everyone's creativity at the same target. They replace vague asks like, grow the brand, with something you can genuinely answer in a day. To write strong prompts, you ground them in 3 realities: who the audience really is and how they behave, what the product truly offers, and what's happening culturally right now. From there, prompts can focus on a specific behavior to change, a distinctive ritual or experience to create, a cultural moment to show up in, or a legal market constraint to outthink. The common thread is specificity. Each prompt narrows the field to a solvable challenge that still leaves room for invention. Prompts give the sprint its rails. They prevent drift, force concrete ideas you can make and test, and keep energy high because teams know exactly what good looks like. A 3-day workout needs several well-framed prompts ready to go for the timed sprints. When groups arrive without them, brainstorming meanders, enthusiasm fades, and you end up with polite tweaks instead of a platform you can launch. When stuck, flip the weakness. A broad utility medicine reframed itself as a pocket first aid kit, matching moments where fast, affordable care is scarce. A stout famous for a slow 119-second pour recast the weight as anticipation and shifted from mellow to charged, lifting penetration, frequency, and share. A telecom asked drivers to wait before texting. With 70% admitting phone use behind the wheel, millions pledged it can wait. And the brand's responsibility was unmistakable. Define the right question, prepare sharp prompts, and turn constraints into levers. The idea, volume, and quality follow. In the final section, we'll cover how to choose, fund, and manage the strongest ideas so they ship. Because without disciplined decisions, even great concepts stall. The hardest creative moment isn't picking from ideas, it's deciding which ones deserve scarce time, money, and attention. Think of disciplined creativity as investment thinking. Size the upside, name the downside, fund the work, and learn fast. To see what that looks like in practice, look at Taylor Swift as a live public example of calculated creative risk. She plans distinct eras in advance, re-records albums to regain long-term value, and chose a direct AMC release to control timing and economics of her tour film. She also lowers execution risk with months of preparation and camera-aware staging, then amplifies goodwill with headline bonuses that keep feedback flowing. The point isn't celebrity, it's a repeatable way to structure bold moves so the upside grows while the downside stays tolerable. Leaders can use the same logic. At National Australia Bank, customers assumed all the major banks moved in lockstep, so the team planned a Valentine's breakup to dramatize independence. Before green-lighting it, executives asked 2 questions. What's the worst that can happen, and can we live with it? Their estimate, some ridicule, no lost customers, cleared the bar. A simple risk matrix helps. Write the best and worst results if you act, and the best and worst if you don't. If the downside is survivable and the upside meaningful, move. Big swings need real resources and protection. If the budget can't stretch, start with creative financing. Partner with a supplier to front key components in exchange for higher future pricing. Then ring-fence a small portfolio of breakthrough projects with clear metrics and explicit permission to fail. Review on a fixed cadence, make fast calls, and shut down weak bets without stigma, so talent and money move to the next test. Protect the funds and keep mid-quarter raids away from experiments. Decision speed matters just as much. Give quick, candid calls on the work, not the people. Make judgment visible so it feels less personal. Use a simple gauge that shows collective excitement versus resistance at a glance, and let the room's energy guide which ideas advance or get parked. A fast no beats a slow maybe, because teams can redirect effort sooner. Plan on misses and make learning cheap. You'll be wrong often on the way to right. Use small, testable versions to gather real data so you can persevere or pivot without betting the company. History favors prolific learners. Error count correlates with breakthrough count. And that's it. Clarify the downside and accept it when it's livable. Commit real resources, protect early bets, decide fast, and learn faster. That's how creative advantage endures, by pairing boldness with measured risk and a steady cadence of honest review and rapid iteration. Keep asking sharper questions, back the ideas that clear the risk bar, and repeat.